Here's 10 ways to brand yourself. So why do you need to brand yourself? Well, number one, you have to stay on the top of the mind of your customers. We live in such a busy world now that what we're competing with is the attention of our customers. We also want to beat our competition and also charge money for your products and services. If you're not charging enough right now, it's because you're not branded. Right? And also when you're branded, instead of having to beg for clients, you start to attract more clients. And of course, that in turn will increase your sales. So let's start with number one. The first way to brand yourself is to create videos and also become an expert. So number one, when you create a lot of videos, you start creating what we call expert celebrity status, where more and more people start recognizing you. For example, when I go traveling around the world now, people say, hey, I saw one of your videos on social media. So I get recognized a lot now just from my videos that I put on social media. And the great thing about videos is that if you compare it with a book or a blog or an audio program, it's actually very easy to consume, and it hits visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, so it keeps the audience engaged. It's also very easy to share, and what happens is it gives you really good positioning. So if the higher your positioning, the more you can charge, the more business you get, the more successful you become. And the good thing about videos is if you look at video marketing versus text marketing, it actually sells 10 times more than any other medium out there. Number two is TV interviews. So I get interviewed a lot on TV, radio, and in newspaper, but the one that has the highest pull is TV interviews. And so why is it so important to do TV interviews? Well, number one is it gets massive exposure. So millions of people watch TV shows. You get massive credibility because people see you as kind of the expert in the field, and it is a lot more professional. So if you look at it versus social media, when people see you on TV, wow, it's like you must be someone important. And what happens is when people see you on TV, it starts to attract a lot more opportunities. I remember when I did an interview on TV, and because of that interview, I actually got a book deal just from one of my interviews. And so Rachel Taplin, she's got a whole course on this on Wealth Dragons Online. And one of the things that she talks about, because a lot of you are wondering, well, how do I get onto TV? Well, she uses a lot of different softwares and press releases. And she said, literally put all your work out there. And when your work goes out, lots of opportunities come back because journalists are looking for your work. So if you're part of Wealth Dragons Online, make sure you go through this entire training course. Okay, the third one is to speak on stage. So I speak a lot on stage all around the world, and in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. In fact, my biggest stage was in front of 10,000 people, and that was with Richard Branson. So the good thing about speaking on stage is it's really easy to get your message out there. So a lot of you have a very powerful message to share, but we have to share it. And when we share it to an audience and when we speak on stage, it's very easy to get out. Also, it gets more social media followers. Every time I step off stage, I always have thousands of people adding me to social media. And that in turn, when you're on stage, you become the expert. So people look at you as the expert. And the good thing is it's really good for testing. Let's say you're thinking of writing a book or creating a product. You might say, hey, raise your hand if I was to write a book on XYZ that you would be interested. If one hand goes up, it tells you that there's no interest. And the good thing about speaking on stage is we have something called a platform monetization strategies. So you can charge to speak on stage, you can sell your products from stage, you can create opportunities, recruit from stage. There's so many different ways that you can monetize. In fact, in Wealth Dragons Online, I actually created a whole training course. You see here, you got all these e-classes. Every single course I'm showing here has lots of e-classes, all step-by-step training. And one of the things I talk about here, if you want to get on stage, one of the great things you can use is a website called Meetup. And when you go there, you can actually start finding a lot of speaking engagements where people will let you speak on stage. In return, you give some value. And this guy here, Harry Singer, and he's got this 4M strategy. And what he loves to do is this guy speaks on stage with Tony Robbins, Tony Robbins is a huge, huge name. And what I love about Harry is that he's able to speak about what he's passionate about and also get paid to do it. That's why if you follow this MMM strategy, you'll know exactly how to do that. So there's a whole, I couldn't fit all the e-classes on here, but this e-class just go all the way down. And make sure you go through this course if you're a part of Wealth Dragons Online. Okay, next one is to write a book. So I've written many books. This one here, you see The Wealth Dragon Way, has been published by Wiley Publishing. And, the strategy number 4 writing a book is when you have author status, people listen to what you say. And the good thing about a book, it has massive penetration. So I have a friend who wrote a book, and now her book sold 31 million copies worldwide in different languages. So in Japanese, in Chinese, in French, Spanish, Italian, and it's been literally translated into so many different languages that she's done pretty well from that. And also, it's when I say it's a goal market, it's kind of like you look at what your goal is, and then you market into that into that market. So when you penetrate that market, let's say my goal is to market into property, for example. I could write a book about property, and then straight away I become an expert in property. The good thing about writing a book, it's actually a low ticket item, which also means that it's not only, so it also reaches people all around the world. So you can now become global, right? And the good thing about writing a book is when you get big is you can get paid to write the book. So a lot of my friends get offered 6-figure book deals. I've been offered book deals where people say, hey, write this book, I'll pay you money for it, and every book we sell, we'll give you a percentage of it. So again, on Wealth Dragons Online, there's a whole way of actually writing a specific book. So Karen Gee actually talks about different ways what to write in the book. How, if you've never written a book before, and actually you don't have to be a writer to be able to write a book. I'm actually dyslexic, and I was able to write best-selling books that have sold thousands of copies all around the world. So make sure you check out this course. All right, next one is, this is a big one. Facebook Live, strategy number 5, is the best way to connect with your audience. And it also reaches out to thousands of people, because let's say you make a post or you upload a video. When you go live, you have a lot of engagement. It's easy to do, and it's a great way to get thousands of followers. So if you look at my own Facebook page, if you go to John Lee Public, you'll see the one with the blue tick. I have, coming close to 2 million followers now on Facebook, which is crazy. And the good thing about that is you can get instant feedback and monetization. So you can do branded content deals where people pay you to post things. You can do things like putting a poll on there. You can do questions and answers. It's amazing. Now this is a good one. YouTube is, I think, is one of the biggest places to go. In fact, this guy here created, his name is John Pemberthy. This guy spent millions testing on YouTube and how to get ranked on YouTube. In fact, he talks about prepping for domination. So a lot of people, when they create YouTube videos, they just create one video. They don't think of a chain of videos to put up. And the idea of YouTube is to get people to go from one video to the other video. And if you haven't been through this course, make sure you go through this course. It's amazing. So here's why you need to use YouTube. First of all, people spend more time watching YouTube than they do watching TV. It's the second biggest search engine in the world. People consume it from their phones, and also it's free to get listed on YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything. So if everybody's hanging out there, everyone's watching videos there, why don't you put yourself there? Because then you get massive exposure, and it's a great way to sell your products and services. So in the video, you could say, if you want to buy my product or service, click on the link in the description. So you use that to drive lots of people to your shop to buy your products. So this is a good way to market. In fact, John Lewis actually uses YouTube now to sell their products and services. Instagram Live is another big one. Instagram Live is the reason. This is kind of the same as all the other lives, but with one thing different, and that it's got super high engagement, and it's really big with Instagram stories. So now when you go live on Instagram, you can also do Instagram stories, which is hugely, highly effective, highly qualified leads, and high conversion. And that's why you create this loyal fan base. So people, when they are fans, your fans buy from you. Okay, next strategy is LinkedIn. Strategy number 8 is LinkedIn, and LinkedIn's full of professionals. And one of the things I love about LinkedIn, the response rate for business to business is huge, and the average income of people on LinkedIn is $100,000, which is amazing. And it's also great for business to business, and also it has high value clients. So if you sell high ticket items, you're in banking, investments, that kind of field, you do a lot of B2B stuff, LinkedIn is huge. In fact, one of our trainers, Naomi Johnson, created a whole training about LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn, how do you get leads on LinkedIn, how do you make sales on LinkedIn, how do you build your connections on LinkedIn, how do you use LinkedIn profiles, and how do you use LinkedIn articles. And she talks about in this e-class here. So each course on Wealth Dragons Online has a course, but it's got all these different e-classes. So this one here, so we break it all down so it's pretty easy for you to go through. But one of the things she talks about in here is building a sales process. So the whole idea of LinkedIn is to make contact with that person, start dialogue, and then you pitch. So there's the right ways to do it and there's the wrong ways to do it, right? Blogging is another big one. This is a little bit more old school, but still works. Strategy number 9 is it's good if you don't like cameras, because I know a lot of you listening to me right now, you're like, oh, well, I don't really like cameras. That's fine. The good thing about that is people pay to advertise on blogs. So they'll have something called AdSense where it's like banners and people pay you money just to advertise on your blog. You can do branded content deals. So a good friend of mine charges $100,000 just for a video on his blog. It's pretty amazing. And it's also very easy to share. And a lot of people now are earning a living just from blogging. So imagine if you want to travel around the world, you want to do things you're passionate about, you love traveling, you love eating, food blogs, travel blogs, all that kind of stuff, you can make an income from that. And also the last one is to have your own TV show. So I've created my own TV show, which is actually only exclusive on Wealth Dragons Online, where I interview all successful entrepreneurs, millionaires, business owners, and people who have achieved a lot of success in their life, professional athletes, celebrities. And so I get into their mind, teach them the strategies, and I teach it to my audience. So when you have your own TV show, here's why it's so important. So for me, mine's all about motivation, inspiration. So what happens is when you have your own show, your viewers will automatically attract the right audience to you. And also what happens is it celebritize your brand as well, and also attracts a lot of opportunities. And also there's a huge viral factor there. So that's why you've got to all have your own TV show. I'm not talking about getting a studio. I'm talking about right now you can all have your own channel where people follow you, where you upload lots of videos and people start, asking you questions. And this is why, if you're not a member of Wealth Dragons Online already, we've got lots of branding courses on there, lots of social media courses, PR courses, how to get on TV, newspaper. There's a guy on social media who's got over 1.7 million followers on YouTube, and he just does martial arts, and it's amazing. We've got public speaking courses on there, which I've got a lot of courses on there. In fact, if you buy all these courses separately, normally each one of these courses would cost you £100 to £200 each. But on Wealth Dragons Online, all of you watching this right now, we're actually going to give you a 7-day free trial to try out all the courses in Wealth Dragons Online. And after 7 days, it's just going to be £9.99 a month or $12.99 if you're outside the UK. The good thing is you can cancel at any time. So if you really want to learn more about this, around this video there's going to be a link. Click that link, fill in your details for the 7-day free trial, and access all the courses. And we will be adding more and more and more and more and more and more courses. There's over £10,000 worth of content in Wealth Dragons Online right now. So go ahead, check it out, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.